Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppers. Today checking out another beer that I got from Josef that he brought back from a trip to the Czech Republic over Christmas. So I still have a few beers left. I have a lot of beer to review. I must say, I got a lot of beer over the last few months. It took a while to get through a lot of these Czech beers. I'm sorry for that, Joseph, but I'm sure they're going to be fine. They've been stored in my fridge. They're kept cold. But we still have a few to get through. We have another 12 Plato Czech Pilsner. We have this one. There is a wild ale, I think. And then there is, I think there's just one more, which is a Siberia one. But hey, let's dive into this one. So this is a apparently fairly well-known regional brewery Czech Pilsner. And this is Radegast 12. So this is what I guess you call a Svetli Lechak 12. And I'm probably butchering that, sorry. But so yeah, this is a bigger brewed beer. This is pretty much all of the place, at least where he went in Czech Republic. So he picked a can for me. Mainly because Wendelhorn requested me to review this. He's been following the channel for a while, especially the Czech beers, and he talked about going to the Czech Republic and drinking some different beers, and he was like, he'd love to see me try them. But the thing is, he couldn't find any of the beers, Josef couldn't find any of the beers that Wendelhorn talked about besides this one. So yeah, this one's for you, man. If any of you guys have a beer request like this, please feel free to let me know. It's always fun to try beers that viewers think you should drink, instead of just hunting whales or whatever. We've been doing that a bit. There's one more box coming actually with some stuff, but besides that, I'm not gonna hunt as many whales this year. You know, it gets a bit crazy. But it would be fun to do. Maybe I've thought about doing that actually. I don't know if you guys think that's fun, but like a viewer request month, where like people just can list things they'd want to see. If that's something you'd want to see, like you guys could just say like something you'd like to hear my thoughts on, or maybe I could revisit or something like that, and then like a full month of just checking those things out. I think that could be a fun thing. That was a big thing way back in the day on BeerTube. So maybe we could do that. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you think that sounds fun. So this is, as I said, Radegast 12. It's known as a more bitter Czech Pilsner compared to a lot of others, and that's kind of its thing. The other like bigger regional one I had was the Brewed, which was pretty damn dope. Didn't expect it, especially because it was a lime green bottle, but that was fantastic. So I'm hoping this will be good too. I love the bitterness in lagers, so that's big for me, a big plus for me. And this one markets itself a lot with, of course, it's won award, and they use, was it malt from Moldavia or something like that? They talk about specific regions where they source malt from in the Czech Republic, and then it's hopped 3 times. So I'm guessing a bittering hop, aroma hop, maybe whirlpool, something like that. It's just triple hopped or something like that in the marketing for this beer. And I know that it's definitely Saz, also known as Sačeky in the Czech Republic, and then also Sladik. So, but it's 36 IBUs. It's high, but I think, it's okay. It's decently high. But if we talk some of the crazy hop German ones, it's like 50. But that's quite bitter, at least for lagers. So let's check this one out. And of course, a huge shout out and thanks to Josef for the beer, and also Wendelhorn for requesting a review of it. So pours a pretty nice color. I mean, it looks like some of these Svetli Lechaks I've had. It's more of a slightly golden yellow than pinbright yellow, and you often get that, and apparently a lot of that is due to decoction mashing, I guess also the grain bill. This one has a few floaties. I don't know if that's because of my glass or the age of the can. It expires in June this year, so I'm thinking maybe they give a year date. So maybe it's from June last year, so it might be a little bit old. We'll see. But besides that, it's filtered. I know they also do an unfiltered version on keg, but in the cans, it's filtered. So yeah, it looks like what I'd expect from a beer like this. Let's check out the aroma. And pouring out, it also had a fluffy white head. Yeah, it's so classic Saz. It's so classic Saz. I'm really amazed how regional brewery beers smell this well in the Czech Republic. Like, they're not terrible, but if you compare to lagers from regional brewers in like Denmark and Sweden and whatnot, they're much more underplayed. Like, they're not as aromatic as this. It's like really nettly, this one as well. Like really spicy and nettly. And woodsy. And big time spice, like that Kräuter, as I say in German. It's not so much like bright hop flavor. That could also be because of age. Because I know Sass often gives off some brighter nuances too. It's not all these kind of things. It also depends on process and whatnot. Touch of sweet malt. But I'm not picking up on any kind of diacetyl vibe or anything that some brewers intend to be in their Czech Pilsners. But yeah, it smells nice. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, guys. And thanks a ton again to Josef for the beer. Great. Oh yeah, that's bitter. Let's go again. I was a bit too excited there for a second. Spilled beer all over my face. Ooh. Man, I'm so charming today. I got a burp stuck in my throat too. Let's go in for the third sip. Third time's the charm. And see if we can talk about this beer instead of just doing stuff. That is nice. That is nice. I'm sure it's better fresh in the Czech Republic. But for beer sitting for a while, it's drinking very well. The Banade was definitely more bright, more intense and punchy compared to this. Less bitter, I think, at least I remember, but it has a really bitter, peppery sharpness to it. I don't think it's crazy, but for, I guess, if you compare it to regional sized brewery Pilsner, at least in Scandinavia, this is quite bitter. And I think a lot of people will notice that. It has like a really sharp, bitter black pepper and slight earthy too, and like a spicy flavor, that Kräuter. And by Kräuter, it's like herby spice, really. And also that nettly thing is definitely there. Also quite woody. It's got a lot of those like more robust hop flavors right now. Not so much uplifting hop flavor. And I prefer the uplifting or the combination of like uplifting, brighter, fruity hop flavor with some of this as well. Like this gives some layering of complexity, at least in a Pilsner. Pretty good body too. I think I failed to mention the ABV. It's 5 point some percent. 5.1%. So yeah, quite good mouthfeel. It is not like the biggest mouthfeel in any of these Czech beers I've had, but it's pretty solid. It's got a really nice drying finish, which is what I exactly want in my lagers. Again, there's no really diacetyl flavor or anything. There is, though, some slight sign of age. Almost no matter what, even though you have super low dissolved oxygen levels in your beer, over time it will deteriorate a bit, depending on how it's stored. I mean, if this has been in a supermarket shelf for maybe 3-4 months, or even longer before Josef picked it up, there is a chance, it's just been standing for too long and at high temperatures. I don't think it's too bad in this, but you can taste a hint of that slight papery oxidation. It's super light, and I think most people wouldn't notice it. But I do taste a little bit of it, but I'll say it's so small that it's not off-putting to me. And it's funny with, with throwback to when I did the videos with Tom, with the Presidente, and if you haven't watched that, that's a long rant about macro beer. But it's funny, that's really macro. Like, I'd much rather drink something like this. And this is probably cheaper. Like, I know we talked about a beer like that has its place, but if I was in the Czech Republic, I'd be happy to get a pint of this sitting at some kind of bar. I'd actually love to go to the Czech Republic and actually drink this fresh, because I have a feeling that it could be really up my alley because of the bitterness. But, it's a pretty decent regional brew beer. I mean, it's categorized on Untappd as regional brewery. And I'd say, I don't know. The first website, I was looking up the beer online, and the first site that came up was from some kind of bigger brewery, but I don't know who they are, what they're affiliated with. I don't know too much about lots of Czech breweries. It's something that's never been too much on my radar, so maybe that's why. But it's really good. I mean, it's a nice Czech Pilsner. It's the only thing is the oxidation, but that's just because of, the age of it. I understand why you probably love this, drinking it fresh in the Czech Republic, Wendelhorn, because it probably had much more bright flavors. There is also, I failed to mention that, but a good substantial breadiness, that classic hefty bready flavor on these Czech beers. It's funny though, a lot of German beers, the more I've like jumped back and forth, at least if we're talking Pilsners, the ones like I've really enjoyed always have been the really hop focused ones. And I also feel like they have less of that like hefty bready flavor. And maybe that's because a lot of German, I've talked to some people about that, but maybe it's because some Germans moved a little bit away from decoction mashing and did step mashing. Apparently the decoction mashing is what gives this really bready flavor. But I still, I still think I prefer that a little bit just because I love hop character in lighter beers. But yeah, it's good. Rating wise, I think if I had this dead fresh, it'd be around 90, 91, something like that. But in its state right now, I'd give it like an 87, 88. I still think Bernard was much better, which I was impressed by because I was also not dead fresh. But it's still nice, especially for a beer that's probably produced like crazy. There are definitely beers from classic like historic beer countries that are pumped out like crazy, but still really good. And again, it's another example of soft, subtle flavors done really well. It's not craziness, which like it's nice not to have all the time. And I hope a lot of people will come to that sense in craft beer. But if you guys had a chance to try Radegast 12 from the Czech Republic, let me know what you thought of it. This has been a long video. I didn't intend to, but it's been. So sorry for that. But thanks a ton to Josef for the beer. Thanks a ton to Wendelhorn for requesting it. And if you want to see some kind of viewer request month thing, let me know down below. And yeah, as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notification about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and see you guys in another beer review.